Hey Joe fans, JoeFan82 here. So today I am at the Fort Lauderdale Super Toy Show. I'm about to go inside. They're supposed to have a lot of vintage toys as well as new stuff. I know for a fact there's going to be G.I. Joe in there. Also, Mr. Larry Hama is supposed to be there. This is the second day of the show. It's a 2-day event. Today is Sunday, so hopefully there's still a lot of product in there and Mr. Hama himself. So I'm looking forward to this. I'll let you guys know what I see. Alright, so here we are at the Universal Palms Hotel. Some t-shirts greet you when you first walk in. Here is the room. It looks like there's not much there, but it is packed full of stuff. Some vintage comic books, some Power Rangers. I was tempted to get some of those comic books, but I don't collect the vintage single issues anymore. Some vintage board games, Double Trouble, I remember that one. Some prints, superhero prints, and a good amount of t-shirts for sale. Some A-Team action figures, vintage, a whole bunch of Batman figures, looks like mostly from the animated series line, and some vintage DC Comics drinking glasses. I have several of the modern glasses from DC Comics, some DC Comics figurines, bunch of random stuff, some food fighters there, some 12-inch guys, Godzilla, King Kong, vintage Star Trek, a plethora of different things. Battle Beasts, I really regret picking up some of those. I only had 2 when I was a kid. Some modern G.I. Joes, some 25th stuff, and a 50th anniversary. Pop figures, there were a ton of those. This is a wide shot of one of the dealers. More of those pop figurines. And what looks like a life-size Yoda figurine. Valor vs. Venom, and a Terradrome with an unfortunate naked 12-inch figure in the back there. Kind of embarrassing. Some comic 2-packs, 50th anniversary, and some Retaliation on the bottom, and Sergeant Savage. There were a ton of these carded figures from the end of the vintage line, as well as some international figures. 3 more Terradromes and some vehicles. Another shot of the vehicles, most in pretty good shape. Some Vamps, Tomahawks, some more Air Force stuff, and all this stuff was out of my price range. I didn't even ask about those, but pretty cool. More boxed items, vintage, and some 12-inch. And even more boxed items. Just a ton of stuff, and a Power Ranger Megazord made it in there for some reason. And all of this was brought by a guy named Irving Santiago, who runs the show. This whole G.I. Joe section was all his, and I've never seen this many vintage loose figures in one place, and these were all mostly in really good shape. And some great figures: Shockwave, Keelhaul, Iron Grenadiers, Voltar, Night Viper, Crocmaster. Some really great figures. Have you ever seen that many Televipers in one place? I haven't. Scrap Iron, Storm Shadow, bunch of Marvel figures. and the Shack Attack Rookie of the Year. Star Wars was well represented, and there wasn't just adults at this show, there were kids too, which was nice to see. And the local chapter of the Star Trek fan club was there, and they had a replica of the captain's chair from the USS Enterprise, and of course some tribbles, and I had to try it out. Pretty comfortable, and I thought this sign was pretty clever. More Star Wars stuff, and more of those pop figures. I just don't get it. I'm not really into those. And the Finest was there, some merch from them. Really nice folks. This is where you could have a photo op with them, and of course I opted to do that with Flint and Scarlet. And the highlight of the show was meeting the man himself, Mr. Larry Hama. That was a thrill and a highlight for me, so I finally got to meet him in person. So that was it for the Super Toy Show in Fort Lauderdale for 2017. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. And my next video will be the haul that I got from that show, so be sure to stay tuned for that. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.